Welcome back to.
That's a great start.
Just look at your dumb face. Welcome back to Entertainment Banter.
Yeah.
My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
And today, Matt's going to tell a small story. Actually, not a small story. He just told me the story, and I was like, we have to talk about this online. And he just bought the Pokemon Detective for his 2.5-year-old son.
Yes. Almost 3, but yes.
And I told him it was an awful movie.
Just now you did.
Yeah. I just now told him that. So, why? Do you want to know why I thought it was bad?
Yeah, if you want to go right into it.
Or should we just go right? So,
well, you want to? I was going to say you stake your claim, I stake my claim, then we can discuss it.
Sure. First off, we are totally up to date. Pokemon Detective came out on DVD months ago. But I mean, I saw this movie while I was on the road, so it's only been in the last 6 months. And
I just now saw it on release, obviously.
I feel like the Pokemon Detective, it was just pushing the Ryan Reynolds agenda. I love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's great. But I feel like they were just pushing his character so much into this movie. And then this whole time, you're watching this movie, and I think that it's done well. I think you get to see the Pokemon interaction very well. I didn't think that was bad at all. I didn't think the acting was bad at all. But I thought the storyline, the plot was just lacking. Like, Mewtwo was captured, and he was supposed to do something about giving this guy life. You can transfer your brain into a Pokemon, and then you're like, oh, well, obviously Pikachu is his father. Spoiler alert. And you're like, really, dude? And then the Pokemon is just, and then all of a sudden Ryan Reynolds is there in the life at the end. It just, I think it just was hastily put together.
Wow.
I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate what they did. I feel like they could have done way better with it, and they decided to ride the Ryan Reynolds coattails, which I think is shitty.
So I have a question for you. Was Pokemon your generation? Did you buy a card? Did you play the game? Did you play any on the Nintendo?
It was my generation, and I tried to stay away from it.
Okay, but so did you own any games of it, or?
Absolutely, but I will say this. The one thing that came out from Pokemon was that damn song. You're gonna be the very best, the best that very was. You're gonna be my number one. These aren't the words to the song.
You're so dumb.
Pokemon, gotta catch them all. You're my best friend. In a world we must defend.
Seriously, please stop. Please stop. All right, so.
I got this mic and I'm going to use it. That song, it's such a great song.
Oh my gosh, well Ryan Reynolds sang it, or he sang one of the songs.
Part of it,
I don't know which one.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so obviously I did not grow up with Pokemon. Unfortunately, I've had to watch some of it because my son's getting into it through Netflix, thanks to that.
You're watching the cartoon with the Rockets, whatever you call it, Rocket Team, Team Rocket?
Yeah, all those guys. So here's the thing. I'm going to look at it from an outside perspective because, obviously I'm passionate about things like Star Wars and all these other things. I am not passionate about Pokemon at all.
Which I think changes your perspective on things.
Sure.
I appreciate some of the new Star Wars stuff, Mandalorian mainly alone, just because I'm not a Star Wars fanatic. I'm looking from the outside. When you're involved in it so much, you're like, no, that's not how it should have gone.
Yeah. Well, when I saw the trailers, I had enough knowledge of Pokemon to know that it didn't look anything like the show, to my knowledge. It did. You had someone that was, if you assume this person was Ash, he didn't look anything like Ash.
No, he wasn't.
If you obviously heard Pikachu talk, which in the show he doesn't talk.
Right.
So already I just thought, and then the movie's called the Pikachu. I don't know, what is it called? Pokemon Detective or something like that.
It was so weak. Only the kid could hear me because it was his father. What the?
Well, the thing is that
awful.
If you're talking from a marketing standpoint, the most recent game was called that. So, like, to me, I was just kind of rolling my eyes, thinking like, okay, so this is just some crappy thing that Hollywood did to this next generation. It's not just my generation, because we've talked about how Michael Bay screwed up Transformers and Ninja Turtles, and now Star Wars is getting screwed up, and it just seems like every property that's being grabbed, the new Ghostbusters looks, in my opinion,
The
looks
new one
terrible.
Looks good. The kids.
No, it looks terrible.
It looks amazing.
No. It
I'm
looks
excited.
terrible.
I'm excited
it looks
for it.
terrible.
I'm excited.
Well, then that'll be one we'll have to see and talk about because I think it looks like garbage.
Well, the one with the girls with garbage. I think this one looks better.
Well, and I'll disagree with you. I actually enjoyed the one with the girls. I thought it was a fun ride. So, and I know a lot of people hated that movie, but I didn't. I thought it was okay. But anyways,
where's the movie now? In the garbage.
Well, but that's one of those things where, it's the same thing that happened to The Last Jedi, which is so many people hated it that they just course corrected it. Whereas I was one of the few people that liked it, but it still got course corrected.
It'll be a cult classic, and I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
I think the girls did fine. I think they're all comedians. They all made me laugh. It was a fun ride.
They're riding.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see 4 little kids become Ghostbusters. That's for damn sure. I think that's a stupid idea.
That's the dream. That's what I wanted to do.
No, as a kid, it's cool. As an adult watching it, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. So, anyways, Pokemon, right? So I thought Hollywood was just screwing another franchise up like they always do, but when I saw it, every choice they made sense to me. Like the Ryan Reynolds thing, I would be curious to hear more about what you have to say about the Ryan Reynolds bandwagon because I don't know exactly what you're referring to other than just him being like the token funny guy that makes lots of jokes and stuff, but selling the movie based on him alone or something like that. But I thought, for example, if you do something like a comparison with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, right? Like they CGI'd the character after so many complaints, right? To make it look more like Sonic. Our generation said that Sonic looks terrible because Sonic came out during our generation. And then what happened?
We're not going to see it unless
it looks good, right? Whereas this movie, the characters, the Pokemon looked like the show. They didn't screw with that. You know what I mean?
It looked like they were part of the world.
Right. But what I'm saying is it looked like something straight out of the show. They didn't screw with the design.
Right.
So I thought that was a nice tribute. Then Pikachu and the father thing's a little weird. He's talking, but at least it explains why he talks. I thought it was a clever way to make the audience understand him. Because come on, an hour and a half of Pika Pika would drive anyone fucking nuts, and especially if you had to read it the whole time what he's saying. So I thought it was a clever way to allow the character to talk, and then at the end of the movie, it really wasn't the character talking that way. It was the dad, like you said. So to me, those were things that I liked. And I liked the fact that it didn't focus on the Ash character because everyone would have had a high expectation of what Ash should be and blah, blah, blah.
It wasn't going to be Ash, let's be honest.
Right, but my point is, though, I think it was a smart choice to have a different character or family to follow altogether. That way you don't have an automatic expectation. It's something new and fresh.
Did you play the new game, Pokemon Detective?
I haven't. I've never played anything.
Well,
Pokemon.
because mostly all the Pokemon games are the same. You know that, right?
I'm guessing it's just a constant RPG battle kind of thing.
Correct. So every game starts out, I believe, maybe slightly different, but it's just more Pokemon are introduced, more Pokemon, different things, different adventures. So they're practically the same games over and over again. The Pokemon Detective is one of the first games they made that's outside that realm. Does that make sense?
Okay, so what is it like?
I don't know what it is. I was asking if you played it. I know it's not. I know it's not like the others because the others are based off of like Red and Blue, Pearl and Cobalt and Red.
Well, and I thought that was a gimmick to make kids buy both or something. Or
it is. They have different Pokemon in each of them. They're the same game essentially, but they have different Pokemon. With the technology these days, you can just download new Pokemon. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. So they had this is probably their way of coming out with something new. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, Nintendo owns Pokemon in a sense. I mean, that's the whole idea of when you get Pokemon Go. That's like making you the Pokemon trainer, and then you get to go out in the world like Ash does, or whatever character you played in Pokemon. You get to go catch your own Pokemon and train them and fight other Pokemon.
Well,
that's the whole
thing.
premise, and that's why it did so well because people were like, "What? I get it? What? Do what?"
Well, I also liked the idea of the world that you described the world. I like the world that they created for this movie. It was kind of a mix between London and Japan. It was a combination of the two. They kind of did that at Disney's what is it, Hero 6 or whatever. They did a similar thing. Yeah, they kind of did a similar
That's
thing
a Marvel
with that.
movie.
I know, but combining two cities to form one. And I liked the interaction. It seemed very, I don't know, like if you watch the Smurf movies, for example, that came out a few years ago,
Awful.
They always have to bring them into our modern society, right?
Yeah,
Thankfully, Pokemon. Yeah, thankfully, Pokemon already existed in our society, or our modern society, so to speak. But it just shows that you can do that right. You know, I always thought Smurf should have been back in the medieval times when the show started.
With Gargamel, right? Gargamel was the guy?
Yeah, right, they had castles, they had all these things, and they always have to bring them into the modern era.
There's all no need for it. He wanted to eat them, right? That was the whole premise?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, that or magical properties, but I think it just tastes delicious. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just asking. That was the premise, right? You wanted to eat the Smurfs?
I think you're right. You just wanted to eat them.
Like, what were they? Were they like wild berries that grew legs?
Yeah, there's like a delicacy beyond delicacies. I don't know.
So all they wanted to do was eat them. And there's only one female among them all.
Well, and she wasn't really a part of their race. Gargamel created her.
The girl?
Yeah, he created her. Yes, yeah, he actually created her as a spy, and then they ended up being so nice. Well, yeah, because they treated her so nicely. She wanted to jump ship and join them officially. So Papa Smurf made some spell and made her official. It was weird.
I mean, if she's the only female, have they ever seen a female before then, or maybe?
I don't know about Smurf lore like that. I'm just saying, like,
I want to know more.
All right, let's get back to Pokemon.
Ryan Reynolds in Smurfs.
Ryan Reynolds in Pokemon. Okay, so you said that.
So
they're jumping on his bandwagon. Explain that.
This came out. Pokemon came out on the coattails of pretty much his success with Deadpool and Deadpool 2.
Yes.
So when they announced the trailer to Pokemon Detective and it was Ryan Reynolds, it was literally just his Deadpool character, PG-13. That's what it was. I mean, honestly, to be honest, Deadpool is just Ryan Reynolds.
Sure.
I mean, he is Deadpool, so he did play himself as the Pokemon, as Pikachu. I'm not going to deny that it wasn't funny, and I love Ryan Reynolds. I love me some Ryan Reynolds, and he's a hilarious guy. I mean, almost anything he says, like, he's just always on, you know what I mean? Like, he's always very witty, which is great. And he's handsome, and, you know, he's gorgeous, and
all right, calm down.
And
yeah. Even as a little Pikachu?
Even as a little Pikachu.
You like his little fuzzy lightning bolt all over you?
His little... Just a little... Just a little, you know, a little tap tap. So it almost seemed like in the trailer, even just watching it, you're just like, all right, well, it's Ryan Reynolds surrounded by Pokemon,
right?
Like, all right, so it's Deadpool inside the Pokemon universe. That's what it was in a sense,
right? But that's what I'm saying. Like the trailers made it look bad, but I thought it was a clever idea again because that was his dad. Because
even with the Mewtwo and the experiments and just
Mewtwo made sense because again, the first movie focused on that character, right? Their
the first cartoon movie, yeah.
Yeah, so like I thought that was a huge nod to. I mean, that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of nerds would have loved to see that character more than any of the other ones, right?
Didn't we talk about? Like, I got out of the movie theater and I think I talked to you about it. Like, I got out of the theater and I called you and said, Matt, this movie. But this is like months ago.
Right, and I can tell you right now that I probably would have been like, I don't know, don't care, because I didn't see it at the time.
And I'm part of me said, like, we need to pod on this movie because it's just garbage. And you're like, oh, let me go see it. And then, you know, 6 months later. And now you're saying you like it, so...
I didn't say I like... I mean, I said it was a good movie. I liked it in the sense that, yes, okay, I liked it, but I'm not, like, in love with it. But I
liked it for what it took you out of your world and it entertained you.
Let me put it this way. I wish they had... It did. I wish they had taken that kind of care in the planning of this kind of style with things like the Smurfs, Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Sure. Who made it?
Name it.
Who made this movie?
Oh, you had to ask that. I don't know.
Well, it was in parts with Nintendo, so I mean, this was a successful Nintendo movie, let's be honest. I mean, there hasn't been any.
I think, was Warner Brothers involved? I feel like it would have been Warner Brothers a little bit. I don't know. I'd have to look it up now. I don't know. I'm speculating at this point. But, yeah, it just, no, I just thought they'd, you know, they hit all the points they needed to hit, and I understand the whole Ryan Reynolds thing with the talking Pikachu and stuff. But I also appreciate at the end that Ryan Reynolds was actually the father physically in physical manifestation as well. So that also tied that up neatly at that point in time, and the Pikachu character was back to just being Pika Pika all the time. So it made sense to me, storytelling. I thought it was a clever way of doing it. So
Yeah, you think so?
well, look at it this way: the first Ninja Turtles film that Bay did. I mean, it's like Shredder looked like a rejected Transformer they didn't use in his Transformers movies. He looked like a friggin' robot. It just, you know what I mean? Like, instead of like, you could have gone old school like ninja samurai storytelling. Like, it could have been really cool, and instead it's like a transforming Shredder. I mean, it's just stupid. It's just, I don't understand why they feel the need to do it. I will say this: I always think of Bill Murray when they ask him like, "Do you have any regrets?" and he's like, "Maybe Garfield." And I think he made that joke in Zombieland or something.
He does.
Oh,
because
they're
talking at the end of Zombieland 2, he talks about Garfield 2.
That's funny.
It's really funny, yeah.
But I feel Ryan Reynolds might someday be in a zombie movie saying, "I don't know, do you have any regrets?" Maybe Pokemon Detective.
No, it'll be Green Lantern.
Well, he already did that, which was hilarious, by the way.
Legendary Pictures produced it.
Thank you. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but so you just hated it across the board. You didn't care for it.
I didn't hate it, but I don't think I would ever see it again. And I mean, I do enjoy the Ryan Reynolds aspect of it, but it was just like when I got out of that theater, I had so many like, really? I don't know.
So what parts were the really parts?
Guys, this is like 5 months ago. I don't know. All I can talk about is that what it made me feel when I left that venue, that theater.
Okay, so if you could direct a second Pokemon, or write the story at least, what would you do so that you would not have that feeling walking out? Because like I said, I thought they honored the characters very well. They looked like what they were in the show and all this stuff. I'm
not too sure would I do a movie on Pokemon because I'm not that into Pokemon. I mean, obviously it would have to be something about battling Pokemon, like training it, almost similar to the game. You have to like,
Right. That's a great point because I'll be honest with you. I walked out of the room for about 20 minutes and came back while the movie's still playing. But is there any scene in that movie where they actually battle?
Yeah, there was. Oh, I guess you walked out at that point. Yeah.
They did like an homage to what Pokemon's about in the very beginning with a montage, like arenas and stuff.
Yeah. No, Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu was in the arena with the Charizard.
Oh, okay.
And it was not pretty.
Gotcha. So they actually did battle.
They did battle, yeah.
Okay.
I forgot why, but they. I think it's because in that movie, everybody had a Pokemon that chose them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it wasn't like we went around and catch them all. Like
it's a mutual respect.
It was a mutual respect, and the Pokemon chose you and it stayed with you. Like the chick had Psyduck, whatever. And so everyone had their own Pokemon that chose to be with them. So I think knowing Pokemon chose to be with the kid, and the kid finally got Pikachu, and he went.
How was it? How was it in the show? Because I mean, I watched them, but I haven't really watched them. Yeah, like is that how it was? They were mutual respect, or was it like you just caught the thing and made it your slave fighter?
You made it your slave.
It's like chicken fighting.
Pikachu in that show was a unique being in a sense where in the game you're supposed to get the Pokemon and you're supposed to train it and you're supposed to evolve it because it gets stronger, right? Pikachu in the cartoon, he never evolved because he was a special Pikachu. I think it was a lab Pikachu, and it was from his father, his uncle or something. So Pikachu never went into a Pokeball. He stayed out. Everyone else went to Pokeballs, and so Team Rocket wanted to kidnap Pikachu. The whole story is about them trying to get that Pikachu.
Gotcha.
And then randomly their Pokemon Meowth can speak English, which never made sense. But
is that their race, that version, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah,
or it's just that one character.
That's their one character. Meowths are that character, like their species. I always question though. Here's a real serious question
about Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay. I've always thought about it. My brothers and I talked about it. Pokemon universe. Everything's a Pokemon. The animals, the plants, the waste.
So there's no dogs. It's just all Pokemon.
It's just, and there are dogs in it too.
Okay, is a dog considered a Pokemon then?
I don't know, but everything's a Pokemon. Your waste is a Pokemon, right?
Okay, sure.
What do they eat? What do people eat in the Pokemon universe? You eat you got to eat Pokemon, right? You eat Pokemon.
I mean, I always assumed that there's Pokemon and then there's animals. So like you still eat fish. But the
Pokemon are still plants. Pokemon are the fish. Pokemon.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like. I don't know. Yes.
Right. You don't know.
I don't know.
And no one thought about it. And no one thought like, hey, let's make fecal matter into a Pokemon. Cool. And let's make this tree into a Pokemon. Great. So Pokemon are plants, animals.
Well, look at it this way. You got Poison Ivy in Batman, right? You eat salad all the time in Batman, but you don't. If Poison Ivy is created as genetically mutated plant, you're not going to eat it.
But there's not 20 million Poison Ivies. There's probably 1 million Pikachus. There's probably 1 million waste Kachus.
Well, I don't know. And they're training to fight each other too.
Poop Kachus.
Let me tell you, and then how
shitty is that? Like if you think about the whole dynamic of Pokemon. You get this animal to respect you and love you and whatever.
And then you make it fight.
And then you make it cage fighting. It's cockfighting to extreme.
And the movie also made it seem like because again, I don't know the characters very well, but made it seem like some of them actually hold jobs. I mean, is that true?
I don't know Pokemon well enough. We're probably the worst people to ask about that, to be honest.
Well, all I'm going to say, the way I look at it is this, and this is my final thoughts on this subject, because to be honest with you, I have no idea about Pokemon as a whole, but I would say from a theatrical standpoint and transition from famed game to television to movie, at least in my opinion, they did a good job honoring the lore, as it were. If they had made him Ash, then I'm sure people would be up in roars about it.
Right.
Yes, it was annoying that Pikachu talked, but again, it would be more boring to me to watch a movie saying Pika Pika the whole time. It
bothered me the why he talked, not because he talked, because why, not because.
How else would you do it though? How would you do it?
So like he talked.
If you wanted him to talk, how would you make him talk?
Let him talk, and the kid can hear him. Cool. So the kid has a special Doolittle ability, right? Don't make it because it's its father. Like that hurt me. Like, how does it know? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, Pokemon don't make any sense. I know, I'm trying to make light of something that doesn't make sense. But no. Like, either he only hears certain Pokemon talk, fine. But then that was it. Not because it was his father as Pikachu. And technically that Pikachu gave his life up for his father.
He did. He did. So. Well, it was like I don't know if it was a life giving up thing, because the Pikachu character was back once Ryan Reynolds was out, so it was more
give up my body for the time being.
More of like it's kind of like you can borrow it kind of
which
thing.
Which makes me think like everyone should understand him. That's what I'm saying. It would have been a more interesting dynamic. Like, I can speak English, people know, but I can't let these people know. But I know that was the whole joke. Like, oh my god, you can understand me? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Well, not only that, but for a writing standpoint, it makes it easier too, because you get a whole bunch of exposition. Like, for example, when they were in the room with the bad guys, Pikachu could talk, and we warn his friend without the bad guy knowing. So it's just quick, easy exposition writing. But that's it. So watch the Pikachu, whatever. I want to call it Pikachu Detective, but it's Pokemon Detective.
It's Pokemon.
It was okay.
It is Pikachu Detective. It's Pokemon Pikachu Detective. I think that's what the whole title is.
Okay, sure. But if there's a sequel, great. But again, I'll probably be buying it on Black Friday for my little one. I'm not going to be spending more than $3 on it. So that's my final thought.
You both saw the movie for cheaper than what I paid to see the movie for.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My final thought is, I wanna be the very best.
No, please stop.
Best there ever was.
End it.
What a great song. Look it up.
So thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
Gotta catch 'em all. My name is Joel. And Pika Pika. Done.